Well, Laura, why were they so off Peter Dutton?
Look, Peter Dutton personally was not popular with women. You couldn't really talk to him. They dismissed him straight off the bat. I think his long history in Parliament of being that hard man, he's taken on hard portfolios. I just think it was really hard to turn that around. But I think it's more of a party problem than a Peter Dutton problem per se. And I think it's got a lot to do with the Teals. Women have got an option in these Liberal heartland seats now. And look at the Teals, that they're talented, accomplished, smart women, right? They've got a better option.
I don't think you can let Peter Dutton off the hook here. What do you think, Kieran? I mean, the work from home mistake, the nuclear mistake, the way he handled that particular issue, not backing the tax cuts, his own persona, the way he lent into Trump. I mean, he very much owns this, doesn't he? We can talk about party structures and fundraising and all this sort of thing, but this is Peter Dutton's loss, just like it was Bill Shorten's loss, just like it was John Hewson's loss.
It's a brutal game, politics, and what you've seen here is a brutal repudiation of Peter Dutton, of his persona, of his everything that he proposed to the Australian people was repudiated, and very forcefully last night. He owned it, and I give him great credit for that speech, which was superb last night, but this was a humiliation for the Liberal Party last night, and Peter Dutton takes full ownership of it. And I'll make this comparison. 2019, when people thought they might vote for Labor, they looked at Short and went, no. Yeah. This is that on steroids.
Yeah, but it's
people
a big...
Let me finish, Chris. Let me finish, please.
One person.
The people looked at him last night and said no. Yeah, look at the number. The number is nearly 90 seats. This is an emphatic repudiation
after
of someone
3 years of massive inflation.
But they've said no, and very strongly.
There's no doubt about that. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But my point is simply you make a big mistake if you make it all about that. I think the Coalition last time made a big mistake thinking it was all about Scott Morrison. Labor certainly didn't think it was all about Bill Shorten. They learnt and took a smaller agenda to the next election.
Well, they got rid of him.
They got rid of him and they took a smaller agenda to the next election. So you can't pin it all on the leader. While what you say is true, it is a massive repudiation of Peter Dutton, and he did completely stuff up the campaign, whereas Albo had a really confident campaign. The Coalition has to learn a lot more from it than just changing leader.
Joel, you've been in politics. You've had the slings and arrows of politics. You know, you've had to resign as a minister. You've resigned from a shadow front bench. You've been a senior minister. You've been through a lot of opposition. How do you think Peter Dutton's feeling today? What sort of emotions would he be going through?
Well, there will be a small sense of relief. It's all over. He's out of the Parliament. He can get on with his life. And I think he's better off out of the Parliament. He's better off out of the Parliament. I don't think the Liberal Party is better for having him out of the Parliament, but I think he is. But they'll be scrambling today. Their phones this morning will be running hot constantly. The partners at home will be unhappy because they'll spend all day on the phone, and most of those phone calls will be angry in nature. They'll be going after one another, apportioning
It started last week.
Yeah, and
the recrimination started early.
That is true.
You can see the stories in tomorrow's paper already, can't you? All right, thank you.
Another level this morning.
Thank you to the panel.